My name is Tyra Jamison, and I am a freshman writer at UArts. Be a writer because it's kind of like my greatest passion. Out of the arts, like out of social justice, out of theater, like out of anything, I've always loved to write. I've always loved to like tell a story and create characters and like solve problems. Like honestly, because like revising your own writing is basically just identifying the problems and solving it, like making it work. My mom like enrolled me in this program called Beginning with Books when I was like 6 years old. I think she noticed that I was like, as well as being kind of soft spoken, I also had a little bit of a speech impediment. And I think she just wanted me to be like on top of reading over anything else. So every Saturday I would go to the library with my tutor, Miss Bostic, and we would just like read like all these different books. And because like the library was in my neighborhood, The Hill, like a lot of those books were geared like toward like African American children and told like stories from like the African diaspora and things like that. So they were very affirming. After the civil rights, Black Power era, so there are points where he's like critical of like theater from that time. Like even in this one scene, he takes shots at For Color Girls, and the title of the scene is "The Last Mama on the Couch Play," and it's absolutely hilarious. Because at one point they have a lady in plaid dancing in through the audience. To say I don't value For Color Girls at all, because For Color Girls is probably like the single work of like play/poetry that made me want to like be a writer and like fully embrace like my identity like as a young Black woman. Finding a way to write about like things that I care about and like characters that I care about and know intimately without being written off as soon as like it reaches like the publisher or editor's table. Having like a lack of say in like the commercial industry is what may be like really challenging and frustrating as a Black writer. Being like misunderstood is definitely going to be frustrating, and also like, to be honest, like getting paid as much as like other writers.
Sunlight will never touch the day I tell you to seek shade in fair weather. To displace the decades of radiance manifested in your melanin, nurtured by the 90 days a year the sun sets into you. You are the skies that cradle the earth. You are galaxies embodied, and false prophets have confused the power of your complexion for bleach. Dismissed the genetics of survival for properties of corrosion, mislabeled what survived generations as what's to be applied in low concentrations. Do you know of the infinity you possess? You are the gospel that false teachers have tried to blot out of textbooks. You are memory, sharp and clear as the daylight that loves you. Paper bags pale in comparison to the depth of God's palette. Impersonators scramble to love your traits and loathe your humanity, because the truth is, you wear time like fresh pearls, and like fresh pearls, you will rise from the sea and bend back the spines of sinners who wish to live like mountains, and they will sing, Black pearl, precious little girl, let me lift you up where you belong. Basically, I was writing this chapbook like the first semester of my senior year, and I was feeling very down because like, you know, like I would go on my timeline and all I would see is like violence like toward people that looked like me, basically. So I was writing a lot of poems that were meditating on like death.
Freedom looks like no fear to me. Like that, it's so simple, but it says so much, you know? Like there's so much freedom in living without fear, and I wish that I could do that more often, and I'm always working to do that more often. Like I think like one goal that I'm always going to look for is to not be fearful of being a carefree Black girl.
Black girl, precious little girl, let me lift you up where you belong.